Welcome back, everybody. We're back to YuGiOh Duel Links, and we have another event, this time for Yami Marik. So those of you that didn't get him the first time, now's your chance. And for a simple amount of 200,000 points, which isn't too bad at all. Those of you that do already have him, like me, for 200,000 points, you'll get an ultra rare gem. We'll take a look at that later. This is the standard fare for the events. This one is defeating duelists. Collect map fragments when you beat them, and then use those map fragments when you have enough to go up against Yami Marik at the duel gate. He will appear in Duel World as well, though. So, what are we going to get for beating him? Well, first of all, the big news is defeating Yami Marik level 50, who will only appear from the 15th onwards. You can obtain the Egyptian God card, the Winged Dragon of Ra. This card is a pretty beastie. Cannot be special summoned, requires 3 tributes to normal summon, can't be set. This card's normal summon can't be negated. When normal summoned, other cards and effects cannot be activated. And when it's normal summoned, you pay life points so that you only have 100 left. This card gains attack and defense equal to the amount of life points you pay. So obviously, the more life points you have, the better. You can pay 1,000 life points, target one monster on the field and destroy the target. An awesome card, we can't get him yet. And of course, we can't work out our level 50 decks until the 15th when he appears. As we've said, we obtain Yami Marik at 200,000 points. A little bit of character information, I'm going to skip that. So what else can we get from our drops? Well, Lava Golem again, and to all of those that use him in duels, in PvP, I hate you. But those of you that like using him, of course, we've got chances to obtain him again. Next big one, Ra's Disciple. When summoned, you can special summon another 2 Ra's Disciples from your hand and or deck. It can't be tributed except for the tribute summon of Slipher or Slifer the Sky Dragon, Obelisk the Tormentor, or of course the Winged Dragon of Ra. So 3 of these will get your dragon out. You cannot special monsters except, so you cannot special summon monsters except by the effect of Ra's Disciple. We have the Magical Stone Excavation, which we've seen before. Discard 2 cards, target a spell in your graveyard and add it to your hand. And Gilgarth, for those of you that didn't have him before as well. Useful in various beatdown decks if you're just going for a simple beatdown. We have our Masked Beast again. We also have the Revival Jam again. Jam Defender again. And our double payback again. I'm going to gloss over those because, well, the ones that we really want, as we've already gone through, is the Dragon of Ra and the Disciple. We can get the EX jewels as always, and we can trade them in at the trader or card trader EX as we now have. That's pretty much it for the event details. Let's come out of this and we'll take a look at the rewards you get for the accumulation of points. Let me just skim down here. Start off with the usual standard fare. Gems, more gems, gold, gems, tokens. Can I show you that one? Yep, you get a Gilgarth for the 100,000. As I said before, an ultra rare gem for 200,000 if you don't already have Marik, or rather if you do already have Marik. And as we skim down, a Lava Golem, which is rather nice just for hitting 600,000. And then the probably the best one is a copy of the Ra's Disciple for 1.5 million. And really, that's it. The only other one there is 2.5 million for the Magical Stone Excavation. So really, I'm just aiming for the 1.5 million. I don't really care after that. And that should be fairly easy to do. Because I've already worked my way through the beginning of this event, you'll end up facing what are they called? The Hunters, Arcana, and a level 20 Marik that will then allow you to open the gate to defeat the level 10, 20, 30 and 40 Marik. And after defeating those first few, we get the next event 11th of December pop up. So we'll see what we get then, considering the 15th is when we can actually go for the Dragon of Ra. Don't forget as well, underneath missions in special, you collect your EX gems by battling Yami Marik at various levels so many times. And also don't forget daily you get your event missions to just play 1, 2 or 3 ranked duels to collect another 10 per day. Once you've got your gems, go take a look at the trader. Now in here, you'll see you have a number of cards as always, but there's another Ra's Disciple for 100. So if you take that into account along with the one you collect for 1.5 million points, you only actually need 1 to drop from Marik himself to collect all 3. So the deck list, nothing original, there's already a few of these out there. I'm a little bit behind everybody else because I was trying to farm another one of these and it just wasn't dropping. You can probably get away with just 1, but 2 will make your deck a little bit more consistent. So we're using the Ojama deck along with the fusion cards, which we'll go through in just a moment. So the bulk of your deck, of course, Ojamas, 2 of the blue ones if you've got them, 2 black, 2 yellow, 2 green. I've also put in a mystical sheep. Better off using a Swamp King if you've got it. I don't. This can just be substituted for a fusion material monster. The Swamp King does the same, but also allows you to go and look for a polymerization. So with that in mind, I've got 3 of the polymerizations, and I've put in a fusion sage to pull another one out as well. So the bulk of our deck will be trying to get the Ojamas out, using the polymerizations and fusion summoning our other cards. We'll go through those in a moment. The other cards we have are Enchanted Fitting Room. It performs 2 roles. 1, it allows you to drop your life points if needed to get the extra points at the end of the duel. As well, you can pick up 4 cards from the top of your deck. Special summon all level 3 or lower normal monsters that you pick up. We don't actually want all 3 really to be played. We're better off just pulling 1 or 2 because we only want 1 monster on our side of the field so that he can't play Lava Golem. So what we hope for if we pull more than 1 is that we can then fusion summon one of our fusion cards. So don't use that card unless you have a polymerization in your hand ready to go. The other one of note is the Ojama Country, allowing us to send an Ojama card from our hand to the graveyard to special summon an Ojama monster from our graveyard. It just allows us a little bit of flexibility, but the main bit that we want is the bottom part of the text for our end game, which is while you control a face-up Ojama monster, you can switch the attack and defense of all monsters on the field. Very important for the end, and we play this right at the end as well. The other cards are the usual. We have our Vassal, we have Secret Passage, and we have 2 copies of Union Attack, a standard finish for many farming decks. Because he has Nightmare Wheel, which can trash our endgame and last turn, we've got an Anti-Magic Arrows. And our fusion cards, you only need 1 of these. I've put 2 in because I happen to get 1 whilst getting the Blue Ojama, is the Ojama King. This again, useful for our endgame. There's another effect I'll go through in just a second. And the Ojama Knight. You really only need 1 of these, but if you've got 2 or 3, you're safer to have them in your deck, which I'll go through again in just a moment. So the Ojama Knight first, you only need to use 2 Ojama monsters, and you can fusion summon him onto the board. But what he does is, he allows us to select up to 2 zones on our opponent's side of the board and make sure that they can't be used. We block them off. So our opponent only gets 1 card, 1 monster card on the board. In doing so, he's pretty much stuffed. He cannot pull out Dragon of Ra or the Sphere. He can't do anything. If you get this out on the first turn, you win, basically. Now what the king does allows us to block off 3 of their zones. If you were able to pull out, the perfect starting hand, 3 different Ojamas, the green, the yellow and the black, and a polymerization, get this down, he can't do a thing. We need at the end the Ojama King and the Ojama Knight preferably in order to build up our attack to get the 10,000. The reason we have 2 or 3 of the Ojama Knights is because if he does manage to get his mask played and sticks it on your Ojama Knight to lose 500 health each turn, we go into another polymerization. We use him towards the polymerization along with another Ojama, and we pull out another copy. Gets rid of the mask and you're safe. He's only got 2, so if you've got 3 copies, just in case, even better. But typically, if you get a good start, you're not going to need it. Better to be safe than sorry. So that's the deck. We'll go through a game and show you how this plays out. So here we go, up against Marik level 40. I should have pointed out that you should be using any character that has the restart skill just to try and get yourself an optimum hand. I'm using Maya Valentine just because I've got restart on her. So not the best hand. Really we could do with 1 more Ojama. We've got the Fusion Sage. I'm going to go ahead and use the skill. Although we might have got lucky and pulled another Ojama on our next go. That's actually worse. I'm going to go ahead and set that. I can take a hit. We're going to leave that. It also brings our life underneath his for a few extra points. Fantastic, we get our poly. Obviously we're going to activate that. Pull out our knight. Sacrifice these 2 fellas. Obviously we want him in attack position. Actually, do we? No, we don't. We're going to put him in defense position. And we're going to block off those zones. There we go. We're pretty much good now. He can't do particularly much to us. I probably won't use the fitting room unless absolutely desperate. Because again, as I mentioned, you have to play as many Ojamas as you pull. We don't want more than 1 monster on the field because if he plays that lava golem, we have no defense against it. We're dead. Okay, we'll play the Fusion Sage just to trim our deck down. Pull out another poly, obviously. And end the turn. And this is it. We're just going to keep going and going and going and building up our cards for the end game. Now, Ojama Country, we're going to set. Don't activate it. We don't want to switch our attack and defense. We don't want to do any of that till the very end of the game. Okay, anti-magic, of course, again, endgame card. Okay, now we'll just note with the Ojama Blue, We can, if we want, play that. We can attack into his Grand Tiki Elder. And in doing so, our Ojama Blue will die. And when he's sent to the graveyard, we can add 2 Ojama cards from the deck to the hand. That will allow us to strim our deck down. Now, I don't really need to do that. Unless I can get myself down under 1,000 life points, there's not a lot of point. So we'll go down 1,500. We'll be on the 1,000, shall we actually? Shall we? I think I actually might. I'm going to go ahead and just set the polymerization for now, just so it's a card out of our hand. We'll summon him. We don't want to play our magic arrows. Attack into him. He dies. We're down to the 1,000. Yeah, good job. I really did think about my maths. Yes, we want to activate the effect. Thank you. I don't really want the other blue one. We've got the green, so we'll take the yellow. We'll take the black. And we've now got all 3 colours that we need to pull out the king. And we're good. Okay, I don't need that other polymerization now. He's had no chance to play his mask, so we're all good. We'll end the turn. Get rid of him. Don't really need the blue anymore, so he can go. Okay, this is where we start coming a little unstuck. There's really probably no harm in playing a Ojama King. He can't do anything to him. Yeah, we'll go ahead and we will. No, we won't. I didn't mean to do that, because now he's going to potentially pull out his other one, his Lava Golem. Okay, let's pull out the king. We're going to have to, because we can't go back. Go into defense mode. He's already blocked off anyway. Now at this point, because I messed that up, we can't attack him. We're just in his hands. And I know what's going to come. Or have I escaped it? I might have escaped it. Let's see. Marvellous. So a bit of a misplay, but we've gotten away with it. So we're going to pull out our vassal. We will do our secret passage. Going to go ahead and play our union attacks. Remember, that's not calculated until we're into the battle phase, so we can go ahead and do that now. Now, this is where we go ahead and change these to attack position. We'll do the Ojama country. Now at this point, of course, they have switched their attack and defense. So we now have 2,500 attack instead of 0 and 3,000 obviously. So this is where we can change phase to battle. Let's not end the turn. He pumps up his union attack. The anti-magic arrows to stop that nightmare wheel. And we go in for the kill. Phew. Phew. That was a misplay. However, we got through it. He didn't play a lava golem. It worked exactly how I wanted, thankfully. And for our efforts, do we get anything decent? Oh, we got one. What we got? I've already got plenty of Gilgarth. That really doesn't bother me. Double payback, woohoo. But that's how you do it. Let's just see how many points we get and where we go up to. But that's how you play the deck. If you can get that very first night out, it's game over, as long as you don't do a misplay. So there we go. Nearly 150,000 points. And we stream through it. We know we can do the extras, thank you. And that's it. Thank you very much for watching. I hope this helps you out. Go ahead and farm Marik, get yourself that Ra, or Disciple rather. And we'll see you next time when we get the level 50 and we go for our Dragon of Ra. Thank you for watching Daddy DL Gaming. You can follow, like, share, tweet, and if you're feeling generous, you can donate on Patreon because Daddy always needs a new pair of shoes.